of a kind of a pain to get like one regular investor at a time, as opposed to traditional funding like with banks or people like investment groups and stuff like that. Because um, it seems like this is kind of painstaking going one person at a time. I mean, I don't mind if I'm going to benefit from it, but you know, it's just
He
kind of
wants to know why you're shooting for regular people.
too many.
Mario.
I've been looking for a while on opportunities to invest, and there's not too many of these type of investments, obviously.
Mario, what I can tell you is I know a lot of things, but I don't know everything. So, in terms of like investment groups, traditional
Yeah.
funding, I don't have great credit, which is why I haven't
Yeah.
been able to go to traditional funding. It's about like 645. So I
Right.
have constantly been like applying for business funding. If there was an
Yeah.
investment group, if there was a way I could just make a presentation to 30 people, I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I would be fucking done, dude. I would have to waste my time anymore.
Right.
So when you're like, Ryan, this seems like kind of painstaking, you're right, but this is what I know and what I do. This is what I know, and it's good enough to make, to help everyone involved. I would love for an easier way. If you got an easier way, man, I'll take it. And then I can still train people to do what I'm doing because it's still profitable enough to deliver.
Yeah, definitely a lot on your plate to actually raise the funds and put the business together at the same time.
Oh, dude, now you see why I'm not sleeping and stuff. I see you've been a
Right.
part of the group. I've seen you've been checking out the videos. So, yeah, man, it's been a full-time job.
Yeah. Well, that's the only way to benefit, right?
Yes, sir. What other
So I was
questions do you
telling him
have?
about our super strong foundation. I told him I was working for you. I'm an investor. We got our chief operating officer, like just about people on our team and how strong we are, man.
Yeah, so what's your background, Vince? Like, what do you do?
I am a lifelong inventory control specialist. So right now I'm an inventory analyst at a like an orthopedic supplier,
Okay.
worldwide, company. I mean, I'm just like a $50,000 a year guy, but I was able to sell some property recently, so I kind of made $50,000 on the side or whatever. And I kind of don't want to just spend it and blow it,
I know what that's like. So you're sitting on that egg. You're like, man, I gotta make this thing come back.
Yeah. There's a lot of, not a lot of opportunities, but there's opportunities, and it just seems like you're kind of gambling with your rate of return and stuff, whether you get one or not, or where you get a little bit or not. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Cool.
I want to feel comfortable with what I'm going to invest in. Otherwise, at least I get the satisfaction of just blowing the money.
I feel you. So, what have you been looking at, like along your journey since you sold that property?
It's been a couple months I've been looking into, vending machines, micro markets, oil refineries in Texas, data, medical billing, coding, business, stuff like that.
Cool. Awesome.
A lot of it is, you can invest and get your business going, but will you have customers? Has probably been the biggest problem,
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So how did you find us, and then what made you
think it
click
was
on that?
Well, I was looking for businesses for sale. I think it was My Biz, or I can't remember the name of the website. Biz, something Biz,
Yeah.
wherever you guys are advertising at. I don't know how many different places
Yeah.
you guys are.
No, so what I meant to say was, what was it that made you click on our ad? Because there are so many things.
Well, it was definitely the ability to make my money back and then some, Not only that, but like, it sounds like it's, at the beginning of the company's formation. Anytime you get in something at the beginning, you get the most benefit
Yes,
from
sir.
that.
Got it. So how can I help, man? What questions do you have? How can I make
Well, I
you
know
feel
you're running
100%
around.
comfortable with this? Like to
I know
really,
you're running around like a madman and stuff, which is good, which is necessary.
So,
But just uh, like how does all done, how are they going to start generating revenue? I know you're putting together businesses like the trucking company and the Uber and the Airbnb and the consulting and all that stuff, but like it seems like you're putting buyers and sellers together.
yeah.
And are you using the investment mostly to scale that up? It sounds like.
Yeah, so like let me just show you the spreadsheet of portfolio. So these are examples of the 10 websites that I've made to produce the revenue ever since like my first one in Amazon. We've got the Shopify, Walmart, Uber, Airbnb, Bitcoin. Then I started the network. What I'm asking all of you guys the money for is to set up these other websites because it's just very time consuming to create the content, and it's very expensive to get eyeballs to it. Right?
Yeah.
So the idea of it is I can have 20 different streams of income of investors that specifically are looking at something, and instead of us immediately referring them to a business that like may or may not succeed, we have 4 months to turn it over into either getting more investors in or investing directly into our trucking guy that can turn it over for us, like give us a proven revenue stream outside of our business to create income.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, like for example, he just called me because he's also subscribed to my YouTube, the one who has the 65 trucks, and he listened to the call with the guy who has the 2 trucks, and he was like, "Is that guy in New York? Because if he is, I can give him 3 trucks like that. I got 3 trucks sitting there, 2018s. So like I could charge this guy Grizz $25,000 for the service where I was like, look, I'm gonna turn this $25,000 and give you 4 trucks in like 4 to 6 months, and then I can do that like with my fundraising, but then I can also immediately just give him 4 trucks. So now he just got a result. Now I got a happy customer in the trucking niche, right? So now I can use that money to get more investors for the trucking, and then I can also go to several other truckers and help them the same way and charge them individually. So like that's just like one market that we can, like I said, dominate, and it's like already coming together. And then I'll just use a similar model for each one of these different offers. We're going to find someone to scale. We're going to invest into them. We're going to grow them. And there's going to always be another Robinson, a company that's doing 8 figures annually. That's going to be like, dang, so I can give you money. You can just bring me a bunch of angel investors, and that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to be able to negotiate equity deals out of those companies and or dividends from their profitable businesses.
Well, seems like a lot of I don't know, I guess paperwork. I mean, getting all this lined up and official. So, like how big is your staff so far?
Right now, it's about like 15 people that are working with us internally.
Yeah.
It's about 15, yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm also like training up like 5 writers so they can get this work done as well. So
now the writers, are they for like some of those e-commerce type accounts?
No, so like the writers, I'm offering to train them for free. So like I set this page up where they can learn how to set up these pages that I've made. So like every time I start a business, I write this letter, and then I'll put it on the site, and then I create like a deck. So what I'm asking them to do is to just replicate this process on how we can create a fundraising funnel for any niche. And like I said, I think it's very, very time consuming to like create this content. So I actually like recorded me doing it live with David. I posted it today. It took about like 34 minutes, and I wrote the letter, this trucking letter from scratch. So the idea is like I want to be able to have the writers to be able to do what I'm doing for myself, and then that way I can just go out and find more opportunities, and I can add another 15 companies, and then they know how to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the goal of it is for them to be like after the training program, them to be able to create their own fundraising funnel from the letter, the deck, the webinar, the VSL, the emails, and then they could just take my own process and they can create their own domain name in that niche. So they can make like airbnbflipper.com, and they can take everything that I've taught them and they can create their own funnel, just like alldonconsulting.com, where investors are going to them. And then they can use that data and they can sell it to Jabali, the consultant, or they can sell it to me. And then when we close it for them, they get 10% on a $25,000 deal, which is a lot, obviously, to a writer in a third world country. So I'm teaching them like literally how to fish for free. And then the idea of it is to train up 100 writers, give them my template, give them my process, and then I will launch this training program for $1,000 or more. And at that point, like they're gonna be paying us to like literally be building the company on autopilot, where like they'll be producing blog posts. Like so, for example, if you look at my blog, I've got like 30 different posts explaining like why you should join my Facebook group and schedule a call with me. So imagine if I had 100 writers that were producing like 3 blog posts like this per week, and like they all had their name like this, and then we were just like syndicating the content in all these different places.
Yeah.
So it's just marketing and traffic.
Right. And then like you got, I mean, obviously you have experience in that. I mean, like from what I hear about your experiences, Angie was explaining that you were a middleman, at one point, like, so at what point did you get the experience to be able to do what you were just talking about?
Yeah, so it got started with, I was fundraising for a tech startup, had to start from scratch at my mom's house at the age of 26. This was the first investor that bought for me. I was so broke that he had to pay for the website, alldonconsulting.com. He flew me out to England. I produced results for him, 270 in 90 days. Then I produced similar results for the Shopify campaign. He gave me 10K. I was able to produce 387 in 100 days. And then it was the Uber campaign when it started to open my eyes, because I spent $5,000 of my own money, $2,000 on the website, $5,000 on the leads, produced 13 clients, $300,000 in revenue. I only made 50K. They made 250, but like I said, they were under delivering on that money. And like the clients gave me the money, and I sent 80% of it away. And that's when I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I could have used that 250 and made millions of dollars. Like legit, like no cap. Like I've proven that, right? So I didn't make the shift yet. I did launch another offer. There was a Bitcoin mining offer, because my banking mentor told me, he was like, look, man, you want to put some of your money to work. So then I had 132 raised for that. And then all of that money went into the bot. Like I didn't get to use any of it. And that's when I was like, dude, what am I doing? I'm like working to make money, putting it these places, and like, yeah, like I'm going to make money off that bot later, but I need to eat today. I need to be able to like grow my company. And I was just looking at those numbers. I was like, dude, 300 here, 132. And I was like, bro, if I had 400K to hire people and invest into like, I could grow this really big. And that's when I created the Facebook group, and you can see like Angie, she drove out to me, and then since then we've done 350, but I anticipate us doing like another like 200 in the next like week, 200, 300. And
so
it was after these
just,
two case studies.
Just with your experience alone, how much have you put any capital to work up to this point, and on what?
Yeah, so it's gone to putting more leads for Jabali. It's gone to, I've invested into 2 different apps, 2 software companies, because I don't want to like bet on one and like wait like 2 months and be like, oh, this isn't that good. So what happened is like the first guy who gave me the idea, I found him on a cold call, and he was like, at first I was just pitching it as a fund, and he was like, dude, you need to make a software because I could make this software like an IP worth 1.5 million. So I gave him the money. He's in Canada, and then a different developer scheduled himself to my site, and he's from New Zealand, and he showed me his software, and it's like even more robust. So I gave him money. So I wanted to see who's the best, and then whoever's not the best, I'm just gonna sell it to one of my vendors. Other than that, I've invested into like hiring the staff. So I've got Erica, I've got Arvel, I hired a financing guy, hired a app developer to just do the design. So like I invested heavily into the team, and yeah, like that's where the money's gone so far. Yeah.
And then I know you got like a certain amount of people you're trying to get to invest by a certain amount of time, you know, the 12 people or whatever by the end of the month. What's going to be the total amount of people and dollars that got raised up to that point? Or
like I said, so far it's 350. You got Dan with like 100. This is, I would say, like I said, I expect there to be anywhere from 175 to 250 to close in the by like next Friday. And like I anticipate some people like straggling like at past September 1st, like being like, please, can I still get that deal? And then I'll be like, like 50, like, you know, and then I can kind of at that point, because I'll be like, why do I have to do it? Because like, you know, so, but like I said, I anticipate there being.
Aren't you offering something else like past that date? Like you're still gonna take money, but not like.
Yeah, so it's not going to be 100%. So that the deal is after that, it's going to be you get the business in 4 months, and then I'm just going to give you your 25 back, free and clear. And then after that, it's you get the business in 4 months, and then it's fully guaranteed in 12 months. And that's going to be the deal for everyone else for the end of time. And after that, I already raised like 700 grand, and I can just put it to work.
Yeah.
Let's chop that shit up, dude. Like once I have like that 700, then like all those sites are activated at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So once we make the initial investment, tell me a little bit more about. I understand, you know, the 25,000 and then double it or whatever, and then the automated business. Like how does that work for an investor?
Yeah, so during that time, I'm going to be hunting for deals. As I mentioned, we already have like some trucking companies lined up. We pretty much have the YouTube vendor lined up. You know, we're going to be working on the Uber. We're going to be working on Turo. And when you log into this app, you'll just go to the third button, which is going to be the provider portal, and you'll just be able to check out, you know, the history of the company. You'll check out the stats. And then you'll just be able to upload your LLC, your information. You'll be like, I want this business. And then at that point, you'll be connected to that third party directly through the app. Every form of communication will be uploaded to a cloud where everyone has access to it. So, you know, he's got to talk to you through the app. You talk to him through the app. We pay for it, and it's all done.
Yeah. But like, how does that work long term? I mean, it's a long term thing, or
Yes, sir.
is it like an annual thing, or
What
like for an example, like the Airbnb or the e-commerce, like you get involved with the one that you choose, and then what happens long term?
Yeah, most of those are designed to be like ongoing, and obviously, so each individual vendor will have their own different agreement. So, for example, like the trucking guys, they might give you a percentage of the truck for 2 to 3 years. The e-com store, you got access to that store forever. The Airbnb, you have access to that forever, unless like the owner moves, like wants to sell the house, then we take the furniture and put it to another one. So, like I said, each individual company will have their own terms on how long it lasts. But we will negotiate for at least 2 years that you're getting some sort of income. I would be shooting I would be shooting for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a little more insightful.
Yeah.
And then the 6-month return on investment, is that like, is there flexibility in that? Like how hard is the deadline on that? Like, I know you can't really see the future exactly, but like, what are your guys'? a goal on uh,
Yeah, my deadline
coming
is
through with that.
6 months from the point that you sign the contract.
Yeah.
So that, obviously it's staggered. Each person, when they invested, they get paid out from there, and I'll transparently see when that money is due, and I'll always be able to, like I said, like I've got access to a company that's doing 8 figures annually, and he's gonna give me like $1 million in October, and then I'm gonna just continuously be looking for big guys like that to be servicing. So I don't really see any issue with being able to pay these angel investors on this deal, because first of all, before that 6 months comes up, I already started to do the business, right? So it's not like I'm doing, like, I already paid out of pocket for that, and then it's just managing the revenue to like serve you guys. And like one investor did mention, he was like, Ryan, this sounds like a really expensive way to raise money, and I'm like, you're right, it is. However, there's 2 reasons why I'm doing it and I'm offering it. One, the incentive, as you mentioned, when people come in early, you deserve a reward, right? The app's not built, so let me incentivize you.
Right. We're taking a chance.
You're taking a chance, and then also like the idea of me starting a business for you in 4 months and then you not getting something for a year, that's no cool to the people who just got started. So that's why I was like, I want to give them something for jumping in with me in this. 2, it might be 3 reasons. 2, by giving all that money away, it shows that my company is actually not making any money, which is like awesome for taxes. Right?
Right.
3, when I give that money away, it's going to be multiplied instantaneously, and I'll never have to sell again. By putting myself on this track where I'm like, look, I got to deliver this much to my clients, and when I do it, at that point, I give you your $50K back. What are you going to do? You're either going to invest it, or you're going to tell people about me, or you're going to make a video about what I did for you. And at that point, what? Like, it's like, yeah, I'm giving that money away, but it's going to come back 1,000 times. So it's like, that's why I just like, people are like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, it's my marketing budget where I will never have to sell again. And then I can just like decide who I want to work with at that point. It's just, we're not even selling. It's an education fundraising platform where it's like, hey, send us your projects. We'll get the money for you. It's all done. That's the idea of it. And that's why I'm offering this to my investors, because I know I can deliver on these numbers.
Right. Okay. So just to be clear, you're not at the point where you're generating revenue at the moment, right?
I mean, I'm always generating revenue from my investors, but if you mean like through these new 20 different sites, no, they're not like completely automated. Like that's why I'm like, I want to launch this consulting page where I can get 20 Jabalis who are like, that's my goal, is to have 10 to 20 Jabalis who are trained up, who can manage each one of these websites for me by the end of the year. So like this offer that I'm about to put out, where I'm going to charge a salesperson anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000, $10,000 to learn my process. And the pitch is that we guarantee you ROI in your training because we'll do the work and pay you for it. So for example, like today I was calling through Jabali's list, and because like I understand how difficult what I do is, it's like a long sales cycle. You're selling a high ticket. So what the idea of it is they give us money, we get more leads, they start doing the appointment setting, I follow up and close for them, and I'll give them a 5% commission while they're getting trained up. And then when I close that deal at 25, I can give them their own pipeline. And at that point, they're trained up, and like I said, I could replicate myself 10 to 20 times and also exponentially increase my marketing budget. And then when I have those salespeople who are trained up, it'll make it significantly easier to secure these vendors that need marketing and sales services. Because obviously I can't be on the phone for 20 different offers at the same time.
Yeah. Right. So which is the first one that you're expecting revenue from? Is it the trucking company?
Well, like the consulting funnel, that's going to be the first one. I mean, as soon as I launch that and I'm like I can charge any salesperson $5,000 to get better at sales. Like, I can do that for the rest of my life. I could just like Grant Cardone, Jordan Belfort have products. I'm like, look, I can teach you how to sell. Like that's like, we're launching that next week. Yeah. Like that's straight money, like straight profit. Like they give it to me, I put it into leads. And then I use that money, and then we'd start the trucking. We start the YouTube. We start the service provider, which is just basically recruiting more people to sell for. We set up a funnel for Angie where she's going to be just recruiting military veterans like that one's going to be able to make money too. So like those are the next 4 that we're setting up: trucking, service provider, military, YouTube. And
what's the military recruit?
Yeah, so like I said, like basically we just want to leverage Angie's story to attract other military veterans that are looking for work posts, like, you know, after serving. They're great candidates to invest and also work with the company, because obviously they got the structure, and every military veteran knows another military veteran, and there's that circle of trust. So if I had if I had 5 veterans working for the company, you know how much that's worth? If I get 5 veterans to give me $25K, and then they all are like either looking for providers, they're looking for buyers, or they're looking for more consultants, that's literally worth gold right there to me. That's $1 million. Like every single one of these things are going to be doing $100K a month, like by the end of the year, in new money. And then remember, you already understand about business and financing, right? So the more my revenue goes up, the more I can go to this bank, this bank, this bank, this bank to get credit cards. Right, and I'm used to running my business on like 10 to 15K a month budget, right? So when I get over $500,000, over 700, and I've got 3 credit cards of 250, and I'm just like, and I'm never touching the principal, and the principal's just going up like this, and I'm just running the credit cards. That's how I'm doubling your money, man. Like, it's so much leverage. You know, I could have 20 different income streams.
Right.
It's gonna be so like, it's gonna be easy. Like, I don't want to say that, but like, I genuinely believe like in 90 days it's gonna be like, told you, doing like $2 million a month, like, and I've got this much in the bank, and I've got this much credit. Like, I'm already gonna be fulfilling like by like October, November.
Yeah. I guess the biggest challenge I see, well, I mean, one of the challenges I see would be, so how are you recruiting people to scale up these businesses, other than what you're doing to raise the money? Is it kind of like the same thing?
You're talking about like the new ones?
Well, the people that you're going to need to do all the work, how are you recruiting them, besides the way you're recruiting people to invest?
So, are you talking about like salespeople or like admins and such?
Well, no, like the people that are going to run the websites and scale them up. The people that are going to create the content for the YouTube and scale it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
So for the YouTube, that guy has a company to do that entire operation. For the websites, actually, as you can see here, we're launching another funnel, which is the VA funnel, where we're going to be investing like directly into the Philippines to hire talent. Because I've been working my VA. So I've actually lived in the Philippines for 14 months. So I have a lot of contacts there. And then my VA, she's been working for the company for 2 years, so she understands literally everything. Like the entire, she understands the entire business. So I'm about to give her $3,000 so she can hire 3 or 4 people to start doing stuff, and then she's gonna have an offer that we sell for like she sent me a proposal today actually. I'll be going over.
So is that how you're gonna try to keep like the labor costs down, so to say, is by hiring from like overseas and stuff, or is that just another talent pool to pull from besides the United States?
Both. Keep labor costs down, and then like I said, I lived in the Philippines, so like I said, Zessa.
Well, the cost of living's better. I mean, cheaper. So you mean paying somebody less than what you would pay them here is basically paying them equal that what you would pay here, right? Something like that.
Exactly. So she's saying here, 7 people, $3,000 a month. That's like, you know how many more hours that is? I'm used to having 1 VA, and I can just spend $3,000 and just get like 50 hours a month. Like that's gonna. Right, and then we'll be able to show how like these people were able to make my business more efficient and make it scale, and then we're going to resell that service, and then we're just going to be dumping money in the Philippines to like, and then it's just another business right there, man. Like, and then I'm training Zessa on how to write her letter. Are you looking to scale your business without dealing with the daily micromanagement? Hire a team of highly skilled VAs, right? So I'm going to be going over this with her tonight. And that's another funnel that we're going to launch. And then we'll have our own office of assistants. And like the goal is, I would say by like March, July, having 30, 50 people that are doing something. Like, why not? Like if I'm turning over millions a month, like why not hire another 10, 20 people? Because like you can always just sell a trained VA to a company for significantly higher than it costed you to train them.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, yeah, that was, so far I've been enlightened. So,
I appreciate
You're
that.
awesome.
I mean, yeah, you answered a lot of my questions. So I guess I'll have to let that simmer for maybe a day or two or however long it takes, and then maybe come up with some other questions. I know you guys are in a hurry and stuff, so I'll try to meet the deadline for sure, though.
Okay, so Mario, tell me why wouldn't you do this deal?
That's the thing. Like, I have to kind of process what I just learned to be able to come up with that answer.
Yes, sir. So the best thing about
right now, I don't have that answer, but I'm sure if I sat on it for a couple days to kind of let it process, because right now that's all new information you gave me.
Yes, sir.
So I could take that new information plus all the information you guys put out there and gave to me to be able to research, and then feel as comfortable as I need to be able to invest.
Cool. Do you mind if I send you this call recording? That way you can hear exactly what I just explained to you over again.
Which call recording is that?
This conversation.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because remember, that's a part of the whole model is that's what I want, like Jabali. And imagine if I had 20 salespeople where they recorded every single one of their calls, where it's like, look, just in case you're confused on what we did, here's the conversation.
Yeah.
And then I have one of my writers, I'm going to have one of their jobs to like listen to the call and transcribe it and put into notes and be like, hey, Mario, this is what Ryan just told you. Boom. This all that. That's literally everything that I want to automate everything, man. Or like, this was the call. Here's the bullet points. Here were your questions. Here's how Ryan answered it. Here are some blog points that answer those questions, some reference material.
Right.
Like literally, man, creating a money printer.
Yeah. No. It sounds like that's the case as far as, because I'm still learning about businesses and generating revenue and e-commerce and all the new technology that people are able to make money now. So I'm a big believer in the new technology and kind of how you're putting this business together. It's all, you wouldn't be able to do this without the internet 20 years ago or something like that.
Nope.
So it makes sense that it's able to be done today.
Exactly. The problem is, the opportunity is there is no centralized safe place for someone to buy an online business with recourse. And we're going to solve that problem. And then also, I just wanted to show you here, like, where's the money going? You see how I like pump out these videos and I'm getting 20 views, 4 views. Like, imagine if I was like a famous YouTube influencer where I was getting like 10,000 views per video. Like, that's just so much more revenue. Like, I get no traffic and I'm still spitting the money out. Like, so that's another, like, you guys help me get the money. We're going to invest into this channel and it's going to start printing money out, dude. It's going to generate more importance. Like, I get no traffic at all. Nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. I'll send you this call recording. Love your feedback on it. And yeah, man, like, it's all done consultant.com. That's all I can say.
Okay. Yeah, cool. It's just, I just kind of got the basics from what Jabari is his name. That
Jabali,
I was, he was sending me information, throughout the week periodically. So I just haven't had a chance to dive into it as much as I want to. I was on the Facebook page and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of is what caused me to have the questions that I have now. So now that I have the information I have now, and I'm able to probably spend more time looking at the information that was sent to me, I should be able to make a comfortable, confident decision shortly.
Awesome. What do you think is a good time?
An informed decision, man. I'm so impressed by you and your due diligence, because I've been in the same boat. I've had so much equity in my house for a long time now. Literally for 2 years, I've been like you, researching all these different companies.
Well, you never had a place to put it until now, right?
Yeah. One time before Ryan, I invested $1,000. It was in a artificial intelligence company. So you would like talk to Alexa in your house, right? Talk to Alexa and order shoes. But so the smart intelligence would they would already know your shoe size. Like there's nothing out there like it. So I gave him $1,000. It was so painful. It was so painful because I didn't know a lot, and it's kind of scary. It's a startup situation and all of that. Man, I've been researching Ryan for 6 months. I did so much research. I talked to him. I literally listened to all of his calls, and it was so easy for me to pull that $100,000 out of my house and give it to him. And I can't wait for him to triple my money. And guess what I'm going to do with it? I'm going to give it right back to him.
You're just going to show people, be like, you see what the fuck just happened? And then that 300, I'm going to give her 300 and I'm going to get 1.2 because she's going to be running around.
Yeah, you're not going to need her 300 no more after that.
Exactly. That's the whole idea of it, man. So, and
and for all the angel investors, we're going to be opening up a corporate office in Scottsdale because that's where Ryan is in Arizona. Where are you at, by the way, in the country?
In Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, you're in Phoenix. What?
Mario, you know I live in Optima, right by Fashion Square Mall, right?
I mean, I had an idea. I seen
the Optima
your kind of background.
Yeah, you see the Optima.
yeah.
So you know exactly right.
So all the angel investors are gonna have their pictures up in the office. You know what I'm saying? Forever. That's gonna be dope. I can't wait till my girl's up there.
You'll always be able to. So Mario, I mean, like I said, we don't have to meet to make the decision, but I would love for you if you wanted to come stop by, man. It would be good for the company, the brand equity. I'll send you my home address. We can meet at Kaleidoscope, grab a coffee. I have one client coming to meet me at 10 o'clock on Saturday. If you want, we could chat 11, 12.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome.
You don't have to drive 6 hours like I did.
I'll send you my home address, man. You'll know exactly where I'm at. Got nothing to hide.
It's appreciated. Yeah, if we could make that happen, that'd be great.
Yes, sir. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, why don't we? I'll end this recording because it's running long.